going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded a video. I had a lot of stuff that I had to get done. I had customers' cars back to back that I had to get done, and it just became a little bit hard to record the stuff and do the work at the same time. So I got a lot of my backlog done now, so now I have a little bit more time to sit, record, and work at the same time. So I'm gonna be uploading a video series of this bus that I'm building here. It is a 1955 Dove Blue 11 window. It's a nice bus. This bus is gonna get everything. It's gonna get wilwoods all the way around, front AIRRIDE, rear AIRRIDE, IRS rear end, 2332 Pro Street Plus trans. It's getting a Bullibar kit for the rear, steering box raised, new master cylinder, shortened and rebuilt steering box. A lot. It's gonna get a lot. Gonna get some interior panels done, 17-inch fuchs that are going on it. So it's getting a lot. It's getting a lot. So I'm gonna be uploading this thing here as a build series going forward. I'm gonna not really do how-tos like my other videos, just more like follow along as the build goes along. I have this car. I have other cars that are gonna be coming in too. So I'll just, you know, start doing build series on these versus how-tos on how to do some of this stuff. So today, I'm gonna be working on this thing. I have to install the Bullibar kit in the rear. So I do have a couple things done to this thing already. So it already had been torn apart. I paid one of my buddies to come and tear this thing apart for me so I didn't have to do it. I do have the beam installed. I do have the steering box raise kit installed, and I do have the master cylinder installed with all the new hard lines going to the front brakes. I do have the rear shackles put on this thing for the IRS rear end. But that's pretty much it. Everything else has to be put on. I have to put on a cooler, motor, trans, pretty much everything. So I'll just go from where I am now, continue to go forward with documenting it and, you know, putting out some content for you guys. So let me just show you what I have to install today, and then, you know, we can get started. So this is a Bullibar kit. So since we are bagging the rear of this thing, we don't want the frame to twist it at all. So this is just strengthening for the rear end. So this one right here runs side to side, from frame to frame. This goes from the frame to the frame horns, and then these are all just a bracket, hardware, whatnot to install it. So this is the bus. So like I said, really nice bus. This is the transmission, brand new 2332 that we're gonna be putting in it. So like I said, very nice bus here, 1955. Like I said, I do have some work done to it already. Beams installed, master cylinder, steering box raise. Everything's taken out of this thing right now. The whole drivetrain is taken out. So this is where I'm gonna be working today. Like I said, the shackles are on today. I do not have a rear IRS bag kit for this thing, so we're just trying to build one. Just trying to make something work for this thing. So this is kind of what we have going on right here. So that is a stock arm. That is a new arm. That's just a bottom bag plate. It still have to do a lot of strengthening. We're gonna do 4-inch drop arms on that thing. So I have a jig that I'm gonna be doing 4-inch drop arms on right there. Just make sure everything's straight. So that will be coming up soon. I just have to continue on doing what I gotta do, and then I can start putting all my time to building that. So like I said, a lot of the stuff is in the bus already. I have mostly all the parts here. 5-inch hybrid spindles. I got all the wilwoods. This thing's gonna get airlift performance, the 3P. So the pressure one, we don't want to really mess with the height sensors. A lot of people say that they have some issues with it, so we just don't want to do that. So Derale, cooler, pretty much everything gonna go on this thing. All the wilwoods, 944 wilwoods going on this thing. Like I said, everything. We got to put a new steering wheel on it. So it's going to get a lot. So like I said, I will document all of this stuff from here going forward and put it up for you guys, and then, you know, continue to go along these builds and try to document as much as I can. Because like I said, it does get a little bit difficult trying to, record and work at the same time. So I'll do my best, try to do as much as I can and record as much as I can. So like I said, let's get started. So yeah, a little bit of an issue here, nothing really too big, I don't believe. But these kits right here are meant for a later bus. This is an early bus, so it has this different style cradle mount here. And these were specifically made for the newer style where it has the box style cradle. So we're just gonna have to try to make this work. He did say that it's basically the same thing. Could just weld it in place right there. Now I do have to probably remove this because it's gonna be right in the way of this going in. So it may have to be removed. I'm almost sure it does. So we'll just cut it off and get rid of it. It's not needed anymore. I believe it's for a fuel reserve. I believe it's for a fuel reserve, but doesn't have one now, so I don't believe he needs it. Plus we need the room, so I'm just gonna get a grinder, cut it off right there, and get cracking on putting this thing on. So this thing's real easy to put on. You just grind, weld it around there, weld the plugs in right there. I forgot the way that this thing goes, but I believe it goes like that, somewhere along the lines. So I'll figure it out. This goes across here, and these go from there to there. So just to strengthen it up, since the bags are placed on the actual frame section right here. So this is a little bit of the idea that I have going on here. This is not the final product. I have to take this off, cut it. I may even have one CNC cut exactly how I want it versus modifying one like this, but we'll see how it goes. I do have my mock-up bag here. IRS shackles, like I said, are on. Spring plates are on. So I did put the bag mount, I did put the lower IRS arm on, raise it all the way up to, this is a collapsed bag. So this is the size of a collapsed bag, 5.5, and then like a little under 3 inches of collapse. So I put everything on, I raised up the arm, and then just started cutting the arm away at where this was until this spring plate maxed out all the way up, and the bag mount collapsed and the bag collapsed all the way. So that's my way of doing it. That's why I got these mock-up bags. It's just the best way for me to do it. I still have to do the other side, but like I said, I'll do that for another day because I have to go to my buddy's shop because he has a CNC plasma cutter that I can use, and don't really want to do that today, so I'm doing the Bullibar. I guess that's basically how it goes. So these on newer buses will actually bolt to the frame horns because underneath them are open. This one's not open, so I can't put a nut and bolt through it like you would in the other one unless you run a really long one, which I really don't want to do. So I'm just gonna weld these ones to the bus. So this top bracket right here, this one gets welded to the bus, and I'm gonna weld this one to the bus. So basically that's how it goes. I'm going to mess with it a little bit, try to get the fitment a little bit better. It looks pretty even though, looks pretty even, but I want it to be as best as we can get it. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna scribe around the areas that I have to grind smooth so that we can weld to it. So I'm gonna scribe those areas, and then I will have a outline, so when I pull this off I'll know where to clean the metal. That way I can clean it and we can weld this thing on. So like gonna take this whole thing out after I scribe it, and then pull the welder out, see where we need to be at, and then I'll tack it in place and check it again, and if it's good, fully weld it in. So let's continue on. All right, so I got it all cleaned up. I had to actually take it apart and reconfigure it a little bit because this bar right here was right in the way of this gas tank. So I had this rod on the outside of this. So I had this rod on the outside. I had this bracket on the inside. So, which pushed this bar too far forward, and it wouldn't have cleared the gas tank. So I pulled it all apart, cleaned it, and then I messed with it a little bit, got it to fit properly now. So now it's pretty much ready to weld in, I believe so. So I'm gonna get my welder set up and throw a couple tacks in it and see how I like it, and if I do, then I will weld the whole thing fully in. So let me get my welder set up real quick, and then I will start back on this video. All right, so I got it tacked into place now. So I can take these clamps off real quick. See how this stays. Looks like it's gonna work out the way I like it. So everything seems to be fitting how it needs to fit. So I'm probably just gonna weld the whole thing up now, and after that I could take these off, send them off to powder coat, take that off, primer the other one. So like I said, I think I'm good now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and weld the whole thing up. All right, that is that. So it's all welded in, all good to go. Pretty easy job, nothing really too major about it. Like I said, it wasn't designed for this bus, but fits perfectly fine on it, so not really too concerned about it. Like I said, it's an easy job. So now what I'll do is once it cools down, I'll pull those bars off, pull a couple of other small pieces off that come loose, and then I can either paint them or send them to powder coat. I'll talk to the customer, see what he wants to do. We might just paint them. You're not really ever gonna see them, but so yeah, like I said, that's it. So now I can move on to the next thing. Like I said, I got a lot of stuff to do, to this thing. So this is just one of those things I'm checking off the list. So continue to check stuff off the list and we'll be good to go. All right, so I'm waiting for parts for the bus, so I'm kind of stuck on what I can do right now. I can't put the trans in because I'm waiting for the mid mount to come, so I can't put that in. I can't put the front brakes on because I'm waiting for the lower arms to get here because they had to have a modification of this lower shock mount. Since the beam was narrowed and it's gonna be on AIRRIDE, we want to put shocks on it. But when the car airs all the way out, the stud will hit the side plates on the beam. So I had to have new arms made for it, where that stud is recessed back a little bit so it doesn't hit the side plates anymore. So I can't put the front end together because of that. Plus I want to send the stuff out to powder coat, and I don't want to send it 2 times, so I'm just gonna wait for those things to get here so I can send everything at one time. The Bullibar is in. We got to get that thing either painted or powder coated. The brake master cylinder's in, so I can't really do anything else. I mean, I could put the air management in right now, but I'd rather try to knock this out. So like I said, I do have the other side already kind of modified a little bit, but this is what we're starting with right here. I got to take this off, I got to take this off, and I also have to take this off, take this little tab off. So this thing right here has to just be a bare arm, because I have to cut into it right here. That way the bag mount sits right here. And then also, once that is done, once I have the bag placement in place, and I have that bottom bag mount welded in place like the other one over there, I can take this and put it on my jig, and then we'll cut it here, and then raise this hub 4 inches. That way when the car airs out, if it airs out right here, it'll be pretty low, but we want it slammed, so we're gonna raise it 4 inches when it bottoms out, another 4 inches from there. So he's running 17s on this thing, so like I said, he's probably gonna tuck probably half the rim. No tubs in the rear. We haven't decided if we want to do tubs in the front yet, so but nevertheless, I have to get this arm cut down. I have to get all this stuff off, shave smooth. So let me just go ahead and get that done. Okay, so I got them cut off. I just got to shave them down, make it smooth, and then I can move on to mounting this onto the bus. Before I mount this onto the bus, actually, I want to do the top mount. That's what I did on the other side. I got the top mount in place. Then I mounted this up there. I put my mock-up bag in it, and then I trimmed this according to it. So I'm gonna do that over again. It just seems to be the easiest way to do it. So let me just get this stuff shaved down, and then I'll move on to putting the top mount onto the bus. Alright, so now I got it all cleaned up, as you can see. So that's that. All that stuff is off of it. Now I can put this arm on the bus. But like I said before that, I want to modify the top bracket, put it in place. That way I can mount my mock-up bag so that it gives me an idea of where I have to cut, how deep I have to cut. Because we want this part right here, this is where the spring plate bolts. So this is gonna bottom out on the little lip at the top of where the spring plate is. So I need that to go all the way up. So like I said, I'm gonna have to trim until the bag mount, obviously the plate that goes on the bottom of it, which is this piece. So obviously this piece right here we have to have room for this and a collapsed bag. So I'm basically gonna have to cut this out onto this arm again. But like I said, when I did this arm, the first thing I did was put the top bag mount on and then use the mock-up bag, and that's how I got to this. So I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. So let me get set up over there. And actually I gotta bring the top bag mount out because I have to cut a notch in it. When I did the other side, I did when I cut the notch in it, I put it onto the other, I put the passenger side over the top of the driver's side one, and I just marked the same cut that I did. So I have that marked right now, so I just gotta cut that out, and then I could put that onto the bus. Okay, so here we are. Like I said, this is the same bag mount that is on the other side right now. So this is where the tube goes. So what I'm thinking about doing is, obviously this has to get notched out so it slides all the way in, because if it gets any farther out, it's gonna hit the tire. So it has to go farther in, so I gotta notch this out to about here. And then once it goes on, what I'm thinking about doing is either pulling this back out and making drawing this up on my CNC machine and making it one piece, or maybe just round these corners to match kind of up front. That way it's just not a square edge. Right now it'll work. If I put it in there and just leave it, it'll work perfectly fine. I have a gusset right here. This side sits against the frame, so this side won't move. This side's gonna mount weld to the cross member, and then this side right here I'll put a gusset. That way it's solid in place. So like I said, I haven't decided yet if I want to trim this at an angle, both sides, or if I want to pull it out and transfer it to the CNC machine and just make one from scratch. So we'll see what I decide, but right now I gotta get this cut out. All right, so there it is. So now this can slide in to the tube right there. So now it's a matter of just putting it in place and leveling it. I have to get level this side of the frame has to be notched because there's like the frame comes up right there, so we got to cut like a little square into it, and then the gusset just goes on that side. So let me get set up and I'll put this in. All right, so here's the bracket. I ended up just rounding the corners here, make it look a little better. So this just places in here like that, basically like that. So I have to get this in place. So I have a level on the other side. I'm gonna level it side to side. Make sure both of them are perfectly level, and then I can go ahead and tack this piece in place. And once I tack this piece in place right here, I can continue on with doing the rest of the kit. So let me put this phone down. A little bit hard to do this one-handed, so put the phone down set up my welder, get the level out, and see if I can get this thing as level as I can get it, and then tack it in place, and I'll be back. Okay, so this is a little setup that I have here. I just want to make sure that it's level side to side, as it is, level side to side. 2 2x4 or 2 2-inch square tubing with a level on top, sitting flush on each side of the plate, and yeah, level, nice and level. So and that's to make sure that my bags collapse evenly on each side. So what I have here is a little gusset that'll fit in here. Let me get this real quick. So this is the little gusset. It's got to go in there. It's got to fit right there. So obviously got to trim it down a tiny bit. But yeah, this is pretty much what it is. Side to side, as you can see, it's pretty level from the other one. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this piece tacked into place. That way I can mount my bottom arm and continue to go along the lines of cutting that bottom arm and getting it prepped to put a bottom bag mount on it, so that way I can once I put the bottom bag mount on it, I can actually take the arms over to my buddy's shop, and I'll use his CNC plasma cutter and draw up like a bunch of like plates, gussets. That way I can strengthen up those arms like really beefy, so that way they don't move at all. But as you can see, that's what I have going on here. Weld it right here, weld it on the inside, route it around both top and bottom of the tube, put this in place right there, weld that to the frame, weld it to the bag mount, and it's not ever gonna move. So let me go ahead and get my welder out. I will tack this thing into place and move on. All right, so got this top bag mount tacked in place. Obviously this gusset's not here yet. Wanted to make sure it was in the right position before I put everything in. So got the mock-up bag in there. Got the other arm cleaned up over there. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the arm on here. That way I can start cutting it away. So let me get all that arm over here. I gotta get the hardware to mount the arm to the shackles. Have the hardware for the swing plates right here. The swing plate up and down, no problem. So like I said, let me just get the arm over here. Gotta get the hardware to put it on, and then I can start putting this arm on so I can mock it up and start measuring out where I'm gonna cut that arm over there to match that one right there. All right, so got it all mocked up here now. As you guys can see, this bag mount, this bag is pretty close already to the top of the arm. It'll barely move. So what we gotta do is we gotta cut out right here. That way this arm can go all the way out. So what I'm gonna do is I'll measure right here, and then I can see how far wide we have to cut it, and I'll start cutting it down. And it's gonna have to come off and go on and come on and go on, because I can't really cut it that well while it's on here. So I'm gonna mark it out first, and then I will cut it with my cutoff wheel, and then put it back on, see where else we have to trim, and then just repeat the process until I get this arm all the way up at the same time that it touches this with the bottom bag mount on it. So like I said, right now what I'll do is I'll get a ruler or something, mark right here, and then that'll give me how wide I gotta do it. But I believe the plate, I have a width of the plate, so it has to be at least that wide. So because I already had the bottom plates cut out. So let me just get my ruler, pencil and whatnot, and then I can mark it and then get it ready to cut out. All right, so got that cut out, but obviously has to be done a little bit more because this has to fit all the way in there. So I kind of wanted it to go somewhat like that. So you just cut it a little more. Actually, you know what? Let me probably get this thing mocked back up on the bus. And see if the bag lines up good on it. If it does, then we're good to go. Obviously, going to go more or less like that. We'll see. But like I said, I'm gonna put a lot of support back in here. This thing's gonna get raised, so this whole thing's gonna look completely different when I'm done with it. So like I said, let me get this back into the bus and start getting stuff mocked up, trimmed out, you know, like that. All right, so got the arm back on. So as you can see, it's bottomed out on this piece right here, but it is not touching here yet. So obviously we want it to air out as much as we can. So this needs to touch this when it airs out. So I'm gonna take this measurement right here. It's just like a finger gap. And I will transfer that measurement to here and then trim that a little bit more, plus the thickness of the bottom bag plate. So I'll add this measurement plus the thickness of the bag plate together, and then I will cut that off of here. Once I cut that off of here, I believe we should be good. I'll slide that bag plate in, make sure it is centered on this thing, and I will tack it in place, and then I can start building all of the braces all around it. So let me move all this out of the way. Gotta get this measurement first. Get that measurement, transfer it over, trim it, and repeat the process. Pull it off, take it off, pull it off, put it on, pull it off, put it on, till I get it right. So like I said, I'm gonna do that now. Okay, so I had got it cut out right there. As you see, it's a little bit of a gap. And I jacked this all the way up and noticed there was still a gap there. So I started questioning myself. So I went and put the other side together real quick just to make sure, because I was not sure if on the other side I had this all the way up. So it's hitting on the back side on the housing here. The arm is, as you can see, it's hitting right there. So the other arm is slightly different, where on the back side it's kind of a little more, we have a lot more clearance back there. So what I'm gonna have to do is pull this arm off of here. I'm gonna have to trim the arm itself on the back side to clearance, so that way this touches here. Once this touches here, then my gap will go away here. So like I said, I was kind of questioning myself because I did the other side probably about a week and a half ago. So couldn't really remember if I had that spring plate sitting all the way up on the housing, or if I went to the same point to where the arm hit the housing. So now that I confirmed that the spring plate is going all the way up on the other side, I can pull this apart and do what I need to do and get rid of this right here. So what the idea here is, the bag plate is going to slide inside of the arm towards the other side, weld to both inner and outer, weld here, but I want it to sit flush on this at the same time. So let me take this back off, trim that section that I... Okay, so I got it ground down over there. This is a good gap. It's sitting exactly where I need it to sit. Only issue that I'm having now is I need to trim the back side of this arm. That way this back plate slides in a little bit more and sits a little more flush with the bag right here. So what I have is a jack holding the arm up. I clamped the bag mount to the mock-up bag. This arm is all the way maxed out, and it's exactly where I need everything to be. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a pencil on the inside of here and try to mark it. That way I can pull it back apart and I'll know exactly where I need to cut by looking on the inside. So hopefully I can get a pencil in there and make a good mark. And if not, move on to plan B, which I don't know what plan B is yet, but we will try this. There we go. So there's our pencil mark right there. Now that will allow this plate to sit all the way back in there on top of this versus butted up against it. So now I have to pull it all apart again, pull it out of the bus, trim that, put it back in, retest. So let me get this thing out and over to the workbench so I could try to chop this up and we can go from there. Okay, so that's gonna do it for today. I got the arm tacked up. I got the arm back out, made sure everything was lining up like I wanted it to. Now I just have to take these arms over to my buddy's shop so I can draw up all the templates and cut out all the stuff that I need to on the CNC machine. So I will be doing that hopefully tomorrow. I don't know, it's kind of close to New Year's. I don't know if he's gonna be with family or what, but I am going to end that one here. So this video, what I did was, you guys seen, I put the top bag mount, we did the Bullibar kit, and we did the lower bag. So we had to modify that bottom arm a little bit, put the bottom bag mount on, and get ready for the rest of the stuff to be welded onto it. So in the next video, I should be doing that if I'm able to get to the CNC shop. If not, then I'll figure something else out to do. I got a lot of stuff. I probably gotta install the AIRRIDE management kit, so I might do that. But like I said, that's gonna do it for this one. So if you guys like the video, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification because I'm gonna have a lot of videos coming out, and I'll see you guys in the next one.